All right. So welcome back, everybody. This is going to be the last session for the day. And the beautiful Lena is here to do her presentation. I'll just read your bio. I'll ask you to move. Go back a bit. Back, back, back. And in the center. Right there. Thank you. All right. So Nina is from India. She says, I've recently been rescued by my children. I've recently been rescued by my children, and the universe played a major role in this miraculous conspiracy. I escaped from a toxic relationship after 28 years, survived mental and physical and emotional abuse. I wear the scars on my body and mind as war medals and want to inspire and empower others. I've helped some of the domestic violence victims in my circle so far with courage, heart, and soul. I feel proud in saying my faith and my story is an inspiration to many out there. I want to reach out to each one out there and want them to use their voice. That gives purpose to my life. When the survivors I've helped wanted to offer something in return, I told them, if you want to give something back to me, give it forward to someone who needs it. Look around. Please never hesitate to help them. Let's keep the chain of support and help going by empowering each and every woman. Together, we can build a chain of support and empowerment which will be unbreakable and shall never cease to exist. Thank you, Dina. Thank you for being here to share your story.
Thank you for this opportunity to share my story here.
Hold it up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, as I'm a rescued mom, and here my boys who rescued me, and the universe. What is that miraculous conspiracy? I'll tell you later. Before I start, I already get to mention that I was in this marriage for 28 years. 28 years, I think, look like 10,227 days, 10,227 nights. Each day had a story to be told, to inspire, who can relate to it, and can be important. So, I wear my scars on my body and my mind as medals, war medals. So before I start, I want to mention that sometimes when I'm talking to someone, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I need a pause. So if that thing happens with me today, again talking to you, will you please bear with me?
Yes.
And so, because the scars of this thing, this was banged against wall many times before. So I got married at the age of 19, coming from Indian society and culture. Boys, be Achhi Bachi means nice girl, submissive wife, daughter-in-law. Just obey whatever your husband, Pati Parmeshwar, they call husband Pati Parmeshwar, and God. He is your God. I remember one of my uncles, very religious personality, he advised me from now onwards, only God you have is your husband. If he forbids you from betrayal, just do whatever he has. No matter what. One of my aunties advised me, keep your eyes, ears and eyes open. This is the only way that you can have a happy marriage. So I was like, okay, being like, I was like, achi bachi. Like another word is khandani bachi, like from a very nice family to show that you are like got good values, your values, just be sufficient, no matter what. So taking this as a advantage of this position, my ex-husband, he would, he tried to make me try and just wanted to experience that position he got. He would ask me, okay, today, my command is, you will stand in, it was, I remember I got married in May, 7th May, and it was June, just one. He said, today, my command is, just go stand in scorching sun. You cannot come under sun, under shade, unless I allow you. I just waiting. My uncle, auntie, my relative told me just to do. I just await him. I was standing. I remember I was hiding somewhere so that people may not, like if somebody sees me standing in sun, she's standing in the sun, the moon. I was like, I would be embarrassed. So I hid it from everyone. Never told these stories to everyone. So the second day of my wedding, second night, I got left. Don't think I prepared enough to mention why. Slapped me the second night after my marriage. And that was the big thing. Started day by day. He would thrash me badly, and after that, he was like, "Oh my John, my darling, how can I do this to you?" And I was like, "Oh, he's such a nice. He will compensate with gifts." The next morning, moment when I was getting that he was hitting me, and I was thinking, tomorrow I get gifts. I was looking at him, this is my life. So I started thinking positive towards it. I'm going to get gifts. And when people take me for shopping and go shopping, I was so scared. While shopping, I was like I would be shaking. Now that time is coming soon. Tomorrow he'll hit me again. Like when I had this moment, I was thinking about that. Now he will hit me. And when he was hitting me, I was thinking about, oh, tomorrow I'm going to get new dress, new jewelry. So that was the life I had. Like, so the incident I remember, I could never forget was when I bought a jumper for him, a sweater, and but my sister-in-law provoked him. Oh, look at her choice. Perfection. She doesn't even know how to do shopping. I was like, child, he had me from my face. Like a brand new material. Come on. He was dragging me. See, I will accept any punishment. Please don't do this thing to my child. He dragged me. He was dragging me on the floor. I remember that. Child, don't you think they like each other? I'm very passionate about it. You don't even know how to do shopping. I'm telling you the guy and get child. I was begging for mercy. Please, please, my girl. Please don't do this thing to my child. Then I have to protect my baby from this monster. So, okay. Thank God. I'm looking to go down the road. Okay. So, I remember once he hit me so badly. But I remember I couldn't respond to him, but I could hear him. And he thought that I was gone. He got scared. He was pouring water in my mouth and singing this song. तुम्ही दर्द दिया है तुम्ही दवा दो. Means you were the one who gave this pain and you were the one who will heal it. Now, he was singing this song. He was panicked and he was pouring water in my mouth, clapping me. Come on, Nina, come on, get up, get up. And then I was like, yeah, in the sense. And I had a in Cambridge. I survived that. I'm a survivor. I got bleeding from my nose and mouth. I survived that. They didn't even inform my parents that my parents didn't know about that. And I take everything from my parents or like so marriages, ceremonies, any social gathering, not even a single one I remember that went without I beat them before like a candidate. Not beaten. I would hide my bruises, foundation layer of makeup. My brother had, my mom was calling, oh my god, how long did you take? If he was hitting me, he used to hit me. Like, how can you feel if you're sleeping at midnight if someone starts slapping you or using you? It was my fault. I used to ask him so many times, but what's my fault? What did I do? I was talking, you sleep. I had so many frustration. My father took my property, his property, not even me. His property, taking his property back from him. What can you do? If I can sleep. And he would start hitting me, so I would stay all night up on the terrace. I couldn't down that. So I started using hot knives on my body to so that like physical pain, I could make physical pain. I could divert my attention toward physical pain. Yeah. So suicidal thoughts consumed me. So I called my dad. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. नहीं होता. I can't take it anymore. My dad sang these lines of a song. जहर है जिंदगी का तो पीना ही पड़ेगा. दुनिया में आए तो जीना ही पड़ेगा. I can't do anything. This is your life. You have to do it. That was the day. I was like, not even my there is no one to help me. I attempted suicide. So one of my neighbors informed my parents that take her away from here. She died. So my parents came. The day they came, they were standing at the stairs and I was going down. I don't know who was taking me. They were taking me to the back. The day I was going to get shops. I don't know what it's called. Electric shock, video shock. So my dad went with me like, to the doctor with me and he said, we're taking her with us. No electric shock. She'll be with us. We want to take her with us for a couple of months. When she'll be fine, we send her back. So they took me with them. But when I reached to my parents' house, about 1,000 kilometers away from my loved one. So there, I got a little bit of freedom. I met new people. My mentor, one in German, I met her. She helped me a lot. She told me my word. She told me, you are a wife, you are a doctor, you are a mother, you are Meena first. She was the one who taught me to study. She was the first person who taught me to study. I started working with her. She offered me the job, the lady. She was the one. She offered me the job at her institute. So my husband, ex-husband, and his father tried all the unethical ways to get me back. They tried to do everything, even with I had like sent they attacked me by hitman in which my foot got badly injured, wasn't treated was untreated and leading to gangrene. I still have a market. Still can congratulations. Still here in front of you. So another incident, I got a call, I was at the institute. Oh, don't try to report in the I have taken your student out. So please don't try to report. Student. Now, how do you live with your son, Joe? So, you can work, you can watch it. My God. Another thing, to break you, I used to get so many threatening calls. You will kidnap your nephew and will do this, your father, your brother. Took my determination. No, I didn't give in. Do whatever you want. I have someone with me. Who was that? No one knew. No one knew who was that. Someone with me. So finally, he was apologetic, like, please give me one chance. One chance, just one chance. So if you move to this street, with my parents, the same house, because I don't feel secure with you anymore. So if you are happy to live in the same house, separate floors, so then you have to the parents into things. So we started living in the same house, but dashing on my first ground, nothing. All my name or opposite name, he started doing the same thing, or not place and all, nothing helped. And once I was at the same city as I was at his sister's house, I remember that incident. We had a very heated argument, but I don't know what happened. I don't remember. It was a very heated one, and my dad just arrived to defend me or protect me, and he just took a knife from the kitchen to stab my father. That was the first day. I defended my father, I slapped him, and he thrashed me badly after that. He took me to court. The judge asked me, so you slapped him, you stabbed him first time. I said, I felt proud of that moment. Why did you? Oh. But the society, they were like, poor husband. Everyone started blaming me. No one accepted me, not even my. They wanted me to go back to them. So, not because of them, but because I was not financially so capable of taking care of my boy. She slooped to conquer. So I went back. After 5 years, I went back to his house. My husband's house. So thinking that maybe he might have changed, I think promises. So when I go, I'm done. For maybe a couple of weeks, it was fine. Real husband and father who doesn't like that, but not like it was for maybe a couple of weeks, not something changes like. So coming to the point. So like after that, like the only thing I did, he didn't did any physical abuse when I went back. But emotional torture, I can't show you the way I show you. I can't show you emotional torture. I couldn't show the how did I feel the emotional torture. I couldn't have a cup of tea with him together. If I would sit together, he would start arguing, and if I try to escape, he would follow me where I would go. The only thing was that I wanted his boy to escape. So that was the only thing. I want them to have a better life. I decided like, okay, I'll save this man. I knew that I didn't have courage with that person. But I wanted them to be in a safe place. They were not safe there. So I never forced them. They knew what to do. So the GT came here in 2014, and then Joe followed him, not followed him at his own ambition. And he also came here then. It was just a regular visit to Australia in 2020. GP was like, Mom, can you come early in March? see what happened. Just I'm asking you, can you come? Landed on 17th of March. The next day, I think, very next day, 2 days after. Wow. Sure. I won't say like it was very for me. So I tried to go back because I think I had to go, but Australian government gave me granted me visa to stay here for another 3 years.
Wow.
And then I tried to go back twice in August and January. My passport. But he was so mad here. He started telling me again that because of insecurity, he started blaming me for accusing me like you deceived me by using my money and using my money for educating your son. Your children. Till day, he called me deceiver, cheat, because I received his money to educate my children and use his money. Now last year I got divorce from him because I didn't go. He needed someone, so he remarried, and still he contacts me. I'm in a new relation, new marriage, but no one can replace you. Just give me another chance. When I went back after 5 years, the problem was that he wanted the Nina he had before. Nina was changed. I already mentioned I'm coming back because of my kids. I never deceived him. I said I don't have money to educate my children, so I'm coming back because of to be a future to my children. That's why I'm coming back. I know you will not never change. I knew that. So he wanted to be the same Nina. And he is asking me to come back again and again. He said, no one can replace you. I said, yes, no one can replace that Nina. Not I mean, I never will. But excuse me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. Oh, wow. What an inspiring story. Thank you so much, Nina. Wonderful to have you with us today. Wow. Well, it's been an interesting morning. We are going to bring up our last speaker, Susie. What a beautiful story. Very, very inspiring. So, Susie, the stage is yours.
So come over right in the middle here. The camera is here. This is the camera, so don't move around too much. Okay.
It was the 5th of June, 2023, just last year, where I was walking on the beach with one of my girlfriends who was visiting from WA, and my phone rang, and it was my sister. Now, my sister is 8 years younger than me, and she immediately said, hey, do you have a minute? Just wanted to get your thoughts on something. And so, of course, family comes first. And so I said, yeah, absolutely. Is everything okay? Now, there's a little backstory here because my sister had actually just completed her 18th IVF treatment with no babies to show for it. But she had been experiencing some severe gastrointestinal issues, bloating, couldn't keep food down, vomiting, losing weight, and no one had an answer for her. But all of her medics were saying, you know what, it's not surprising, you can't shove 18 IVFs down into your body and expect no side effects whatsoever. So here we were for a number of weeks being told that her issues were. But on this one particular Sunday morning, my sister took herself to the doctor and she said, you know what, there's more to it. It's not the IVF drugs. Can you please run extensive tests on me and tell me what is going on? And so the doctor did. And at the end of those tests, in a long morning, he sent her off with a letter in her hand, and he said, head off to the Austin Hospital, don't open this letter, I'll let them know you're coming, and they'll be ready to meet you. So this was when my sister contacted me, and of course when a doctor says, don't open the letter, what do we do? Of course we tear that letter open and fix them, right? And in case we thought that doctor handwriting was bad, doctor terminology is even worse. And so the letter made no sense to me in actual fact, but there was one phrase at the bottom in that last paragraph that said possible malignant connection, and that caught my eye. And I said to my sister, hey, I don't understand the letter, but what do you make from it? And she said, look, I don't really know, but it's not good. And so we basically just went with that. I said, I'll meet you at the Austin Hospital, flew over to the Austin, met them there. That was the Sunday. On the Tuesday, the doctors came to meet us and they confirmed that she sadly had stage 4 stomach cancer. That was on Tuesday. But the medical profession worked so hard for young people who were battling. And so they did everything they could. They called together a national conference with 16 scientists, doctors, oncologists and surgeons, and they got together on the Thursday and they were due to come back to us with what treatment options that were available to her. They came back on the Thursday and they said, unfortunately, we don't have good news for you. The cancer cell in the stomach fluid, and that basically is a bit like trying to get corneal out of blood. So my sister, who was wavering at the moment, here I was standing there, my tongue felt like a brick, my heart was pumping out of my chest, and my feet were shaking. But she was brave, and she said, can I ask you a question? I'm actually a psychologist. What do you think I should tell my patient? Do you think that I should shut down my clinic? Or do you think that we should contact them and tell them to postpone until the end of the year? And the doctor stopped, and the silence was deafening. But then he said, I think you should shut down your clinic. To which she asked her second question, and that was, so how are you actually saying I had to live? And he said 4 to 6 weeks. And my sister lived 10 weeks from that day. And they were a long but a short 10 weeks. But I tell that story knowing that each of us have our challenges. And whilst my sister's passing left me as the only surviving member of my birth family, because my mum had passed away when I was 18 and my dad at 27. But I know, and I've even heard today, that there are some very, very big challenges going on in most lives. And so what we generally do, all of us, with life's challenges, is we carry them around in a box. Right? And challenges, we just throw them in a box, consciously or subconsciously. Sometimes we put them in a box because we don't want to address them. Other times we put them in a box as part of our survival mechanism. And so we carry these boxes around and it gets heavy eventually. And so today, I want to address some thoughts around how you and I can take our box of challenges from being a heavy weight above us that pushes us down to being a platform below us that lifts us up. But how do we do that? The big question. You see, resilient people know how to look. Resilient people know how to bring that box down to eye level to see it. And they look inside and they go, oh, is that what you want? Is that the contents that I've been carrying around? Suddenly we bring it to a conscious mind and we're aware, and the clutter becomes clarity. The ambiguity develops some confidence. The dead weight develops some definition when we look inside the box to see what we're carrying around. But then resilient people know how to bring that box from eye level down to heart level so that they can feel it. And you see, when we feel it, it's about asking the question, why is this happening? You see, the first question we ask is what's happening? And when we look in, we discover the second question is why is this happening? Because when we understand the why, it is then that we can do something with it. When we understand the why, it gives us tools and capacity and clarity around what we can do. Sometimes it's something that we need to address. Sometimes it's something that we need to amend. But sometimes, and this is what matters the most, it results in something that advances. And so if we want to be resilient, we take this box that keeps filling. We bring it down to eye level so we can see it. We bring it down to heart level so we can feel it. And then we put it down to ground level so we can stand on it. And we stand on top. It's my part of the conversation. We stand on top of it. Suddenly we have a different view. We can see differently. The contrast is down here. The noise is down here. We've got another perspective now. We're looking above the crowd. We're looking above the confusion. We can see further into the future when we stand on our box. Let me give you an example. It was February this year, and I began to feel like my box was getting really heavy. It was weighing me down. And I was like, oh, something's not right. I'm feeling really burdened, really overwhelmed. Something is making me apprehensive and anxious. And so it was then that I put my box, something in my box. I put my box down to eye level so that I can see it. And I look inside my box. And when I look inside my box, I recognize that it was early February at this point, and later in the month of February, we were going to take part in the Carmen's Fun Run. That is a cancer fundraiser. My sister had taken part in the Carmen's Fun Run for many, many years in honour of my mum. And so what her girlfriends did was they decided to register all of her family and friends into the Carmen's Fun Run so that we could honour her and extend the legacy. And so when I looked in my box, I was like, oh, it's the Carmen's Fun Run coming up. That's what's causing me the tension. But then I lowered it down to heart level because I need to now feel it. And we don't naturally like to feel anything because it's uncomfortable. And we like to self-protect and self-preserve. But the only way to get out the other side is to feel it. And so I lowered my box down and I was like, right, so why is this happening? And I realised that as I thought about the Carmen's Fun Run, I was thinking a number of things. I was beginning to get so nervous and so self-protective that on that day I would wake up an emotional mess and I would just want to sit in the corner and cry. And so I was self-protecting. I was nervous about that day. Hence the apprehension, hence the anxiety, hence the fear around it. And I started to get clarity. But then I realised there was two other dynamics going on. One of them was that in my narcissistic, self-obsessed head, I was imagining that given that I was the immediate family member to my sister, that everyone at the fun run would look at me and have two different opinions. There would be a group, if I was having a good day and I woke up well that day, who would look at me and go, her, it's only been 6 months. How can she be doing so well? But then I thought there's another group, and that's the group who just look at me if I was not doing well. And they would be going, look at her. 6 months. Honestly, can she get over it? What is wrong with her? And when I actually understood what was going on, I was able to then tap into the right thought process. I was able to talk to that. And I spoke to myself, spoke to that narrative, spoke to all the hypotheticals that I was imagining. And I began to just say to myself, Susie, you can be whatever you want on that day. I'm giving you permission to be anything you want to be. If you want to cry your heart out, you can do it. If you are strong and bold and resilient and happy and you celebrate your sister's life that day, you can be. And I've never known myself to sit in a corner and cry for 12 hours. And so I knew that wasn't a possibility. It would be so unlikely. But I began to speak and address the secret, the clutter, the ambiguity that was sitting in my box before I began to see it and feel it. And then I could leverage it. I could stand taller on it. And I could look out and I could decide with a rational mind how I was going to tackle this. But you see, I said earlier that there are different ways that we can address what we see in our box. We can address it like I did. We can amend it, we can make changes, we can decide to have a hard conversation, put a budget in place, apply for a new job, get out of an abusive relationship. But thirdly, we can and then allow it to advance by speaking and leveraging. Let me tell you a story. My daughter has a friend, 20-year-old friend at school, and this boy developed a severe insomnia where he did not sleep for weeks on end. Saw a doctor, got pills, nothing was working. Poor kid was going around the bend. Eventually saw a psychologist, absolutely nothing worked for him. But this smart 20-year-old decided that he was going to leverage his problem. So he thought to himself, while everyone else is asleep and I'm awake, I may as well do something with that time. And so he decided that he was going to learn the stock market. So he taught himself the stock market, got really, really good at it. But he's thinking, well, Australia might be closed, the ASX might be closed, but international markets are open. And this 20-year-old boy got so good at the stock market, and he got better and better and better. And he was up at night, sleeping in the daytime, because that seemed to work. He was leveraging his challenges. And my daughter said to me, she said, Mum, you won't believe it, you actually know that he's done so well at the stock market that he's just bought himself a property and a brand new Tesla. And I was like, you should marry him. She says, no thanks, I want my own money. And she probably will, she's studying law. And I forgot to tell you that I'm Egyptian. And so if our kids are studying law, engineering, or medicine, we need to tell you about it. The Arab in the room. Any Asians in the room will get that too. We know the cultures, we know the cultures. But you know, in case some of you are listening to this and thinking, wow, 20-year-old, the world's still sunshine and rainbows at that age. Wait till life, weathers him a little bit. Well, let me tell you this. A week before my sister died, she was heavily grogged, severe pain, very unwell, facing the end of days, sleeping for a lot of it. But she texted me one night and she said, Suze, can you come in early tomorrow morning? And can you, between now and then, schedule these names and be a list of 7 names of family and friends that she wanted to share a piece of life advice with that she thought would help them be better and navigate life differently. And she said, can you please schedule them for 20-minute blocks and can you be timekeeper? And when I'm done with the 20 minutes, just bring the next person in for their one-on-one. And can you manage this process? I'd like absolutely. You're in your last days, every family member, every friend cooperate, and work can wait, and everything can wait. And I had these 7 people lined up for 20-minute blocks to chat with her. And she did the one-on-ones, and she shared a confidential piece of life wisdom that she thought was meaningful for their situation, for their scenario. And so, friends, if at any point in your life you think that you can't leverage your challenges, that you don't have what it takes to leverage your challenges, I want to encourage you today, and I want to say that yes, you can, even on your deathbed.
Absolutely wonderful. Wow, what a morning. So we're going to have our panel discussion, guys. We can help you with share. We're going to bring up our speakers and we're going to, no, those 4 short ones. Those are not too high. So if anybody has any questions you would like to ask our speakers, and it can be comments as well, this is the time for us to engage. Ladies, can you come up, please? Move the chairs closer. This one isn't visible on camera. Much closer. That's it. Yep. Come have a seat, ladies. We'll get one more chair in. Come have a seat. We need one more. Have a seat, please. Yes. Actually, so that people can move. Just scoot this one just a little bit. Move the chair. Yeah. Yep. And then move the other one. Move the other one. Keep moving the chairs over. The rest are go and sit down. Okay. So, audience, any questions from the audience? Anybody want to direct a question to anyone? Yeah, here we have a question. Thank you.
So, can you please tell me how you got bullied?
How you got bullied? Can you tell me, Mom, how you got bullied?
Yes.
Right.
I would like to be asked question by our son. Yeah, I did get bullied almost every single day. I was yelled at, I was pushed, I was my hair pulled a lot of time. I would get laughed at because I had to listen to Vivi and Juju say. Vivi and Juju is my grandpa in terms of wearing my school dress slightly longer than school. So my culture. So I would get my dress pulled. I would get pushed into the locker. People spitting at me, laughing at me. But you know what, Vivi? I'm that strong person today because I always believed in myself.
So while you're holding the mic, I have a question. You are amazing. You know, when I first met you, I said, when I grow up, I want to be like that. So bodybuilding is challenging. And for women, especially women who are past menopause, the older you get, the more you have to take care of your body and build the muscle. Can you tell me what you're doing to help women over 50 and why it's important for us to have muscle tissue on our bodies?
So first of all, the wise believe. I've worked with clients who are in their 70s who came to me asking, is it too late? Too late for what? Too late to start training. It's never too late to start training because number one, yes, it's a physical thing, but it's more of a mental thing for me. So you're transforming your mind to your body. It's not just a physical thing. So I get clients in the early to mid 70s who come to classes who, if I may say, pick something and just bloods. And the people are taking classes, how hard I work. 16 and 17-year-old can do it, anybody can, and that again doesn't come down to how strong you are and how much you can push and how much you can pull. Absolutely not. It's all in your head. It's all in your mind. If you let yourself and you let your mind program your mind to think that you can do it. Trust me when I say you can do it. This is not just about bodybuilding. But yes, going back to what Patricia was saying, when it comes to bodybuilding, I apply that formula there as well. But the way I have learned to live life is, regardless what issues you're going through, whether it's bullying, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's rape, whether it's whatever, escaping, you need to train your mind to think that anything is possible. You can do it. The things to get better, to get worse. If you fall, it's fine. Get back up. And if you fall again, it is fine. Get back up. If you're an addict and you fail and you have withdrawals, it is okay. Get back up. You have as much right as everyone else does on this planet. You do what you think is right, no matter what the challenges are.
Nice. And I know you have some of the people you train in the audience. Guys, can you make a comment of what you've learned? see the muscle that you developed.
The first comment is when you're going to Russia's be prepared. And I made a mistake of underestimating the group fitness class. And let's just say halfway I had to take a break because I was like, on a more serious note, yeah, she brings the best out of me. There is some tough love, but that's how you get what you need. So yeah, like go to her class, have some fun, and yeah, she brings the best out of you. I can tell you that. And she always has this really vibrant, positive kind of a very positive energy that she radiates. And I think I've told you that on the gym. Every time you see her around, you're like, wow, something is going on. Like, there's this really wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can I share something?
Okay, yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm Sherry. I'm one of the mothers, which my daughter is here too. I met Rara just a few months ago. And honestly, from my heart, I want to just say that you are my ancestor. And I could feel the power in you. And in a few words that you just said, I could feel the power of looking in my life. And somehow life brought you into my life. And it was my answer prayer. And I'm so blessed to have you. I'm hoping, I'm praying that as you power in your heart, all of your beautiful ladies that you share your life. I'm just praying that you find the power in you, which I can feel and confirm from your words that God brought into my life the right person in the right time. Because if you ask universe, God, whoever you believe, it always answers. It's never rejected. You are never ever rejected from life. So thank you so much, Rara, for whatever blessing you're bringing into my life and my daughter, my teenager daughter life. I cannot bring it in the words, and I do not intend to talk, but somehow something in my heart, I need to stand up and say that I bless you, and I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so happy that you came to me.
You can ask another question.
You want to ask another question? Yes, this is good.
So, when I'm older, like, because you said like anyone at any age is still fit, like to bodybuilding or the gym, I was gonna say maybe when I'm older, like when I'm 18 or maybe 17, I'm allowed to go to your classes.
You should come round so we can see you. So gorgeous. Go to your mom.
I think more like I want to join your class. Will I be allowed to join your class?
Yes.
It's really gonna take because you're already making to do stuff. You're getting those muscles, you're gonna take over, you're gonna inspire other people as well. Open up your gym. Yes, so are we all allowed to come join your classes?
Yes.
Oh, how beautiful. The legacy continues. I love it. Okay, let's get some more questions for our other speakers. Anyone? I'll start with you, Loretta. So now you're here in Australia. Your story you're starting to learn is more common than uncommon, right? When we started talking, when you reached out to me, you mentioned that this is happening to quite a few young African girls who come to Australia alone. They are being taken advantage of by people who their families entrust them to. So what are you doing, especially at the university, try and support the new students? What's your vision? It's louder.
Um, Well, I didn't understand the question, but what I'd say is, just like you mentioned, a lot of young people, they become victims of sexual assault and then they don't talk about it. Um, Some of them even end up going back to looking at it. I've encountered two girls who made up their mind like, this is not for me, and I went back home. And they looked at light and they went back home. So my vision is maybe in the next 5 or 6 years to come, I want to plant the voices of children and have an organization called Rise and Think, so that every young girl who comes into this country is able to go through that organization. They're going to be protected, they're going to be covered, they're going to be guided on what to do if it happens to you. And they're going to have mentors to hold them. Because sexual assault is not just something. I mean, it's not just as easy as you can say, like, I was raped. It took me like 8 years to just come out and say I was raped. And so I want every girl coming into the country, not just African, but even whoever comes into the country, to protect their dignity, to protect themselves. I want to hold their hand and show them that it is not okay to be raped and you have to be protected. And then also at campus level, I've started holding online Zoom meetings with students and speaking about my story, because I can't say that I'm totally healed from what happened. I just learned to live with it. And every day it's a battle that comes with what happened. And so the more I speak about it to students, the more I heal, and the more I learn about me being a victorious person other than just being a victim of sexual assault. And so I hold more Zoom meetings with students and reach out to people, share my story, and I'm just holding their hands and letting them know that it's not okay for you to do it. You deserve to. You deserve to.
We have, thank you.
I guess this is a question for all 5 of you. I know, like, Sitara gave like an answer to this question, but you can elaborate a bit more. Clearly, all 5 of you have been through a lot and you survived. You are warriors and survivors, right? So the question for all of you is, when life seemed very dark, no light, no future, like everything seemed like, okay, it's not going to work. We can't get through. What got you through that? Like, what got you through the other side?
Start with Stacey and then she'll pass the mic across. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for asking.
It's a very good question. For me, I think it was about looking inside and finding a way to love myself in those moments. I was able to do that through creative writing because after being traumatized or going through something like that, it can be very difficult to love yourself. You feel undeserved because, everyone's showing the example of, obviously you don't deserve it because we're treating you otherwise. But I gave that self-love a voice, even though it was fictionalized, and I think that really helped me get through.
Thank you.
For me, I'm thinking of 2 things. Firstly, I am a woman of faith, and I remember my new mentor for life came to me in week 3 following my sister's diagnosis, and that's where I really think that God said to me, tell me that you trust me. And so it came with, I guess, a supernatural empowerment to be able to live that out. And so whenever life gets challenging, or whenever I'm thinking like, oh, this is a bit beyond me or bigger than me, and now I have this new mantra where I just remind myself, God, I'm telling you that I can trust you. And so I entrust myself into the hands of God who's capable of preserving my life, strengthening me, giving me the bit to stand up whenever I fall, that kind of thing. The other thing that's really huge for me is having good people and community around us. Find your people. Find your people. Not to whinge to, not to necessarily just go on and on and on about the same thing with, but people who you allow to speak into your life. And I always say that community is like our mirrors. When we hang around with like-minded people, they become mirrors to us. It activates our mirror neurons in our brain, and it allows us to begin to see what our life could look like. When we look at resilient lives, we go, oh, it activates our possibility. And so then it just gives fresh energy, fresh breath, fresh renewal to my own possibility to be resilient, to rise up. So find your people, they need to be resilient people, they need to model that possibility and do life closely.
To answer your question, I struggle every day I wake up to come to work. So, as some of you may know, some may not know, I work in background fitness. I doubt myself every single morning. I question my choices. I'm out shower, but I think about how far I've come. I think about my dad, who's my biggest role model, who's done so much to bring us here. My parents gave up their lives for us. Now, whoever's watching this online behind the screen, this is not the right that you would see. So finally, I am emotional, yes. I am broken. There's nothing wrong with being broken. Why am I here and my best friend not here? Why is she 6 feet under I'm here? What's she blown up? I don't know. And I'll never know. Why did my cousin lose his brother get blown up? Don't know, and I will never know. But I do know that whatever it is, I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to be thankful, and I'm going to be blessed every single day. When life gets hard, what gets me going, I think about what I had at the moment. I think about how far I've come. I think about where I started and why I did that. Plus, most importantly, I think about my beautiful little boy. So, that answers the question.
The question was, who are the favorite son? The question was, when you were at a point in your life where you thought like it's all dark, there is no end to the problem. What got you through?
So what I do is I try to keep myself doing something constructive and be loyal to what duties I have. I want to do that. Like, want to give 100%, even it's not 100% that day, I'm not low, or that day, that's 100% not being okay today. But I would like to push, not push, I am very like, want to be part of it. But I like, what beautiful duty is today, like, what I have to do today towards you, towards something, I must be honest to that. If I don't have any malicious intentions toward anyone, everything is what all what I do today is what I am supposed to do. Like if I am working anywhere, I should be putting my best to them. Something like I don't know bringing that into work. Like, to be honest, no bad intention. Sometimes people say that they wish harm for others. Someone will take care of them. No, please don't say those things. I don't believe like Dharma should punish anyone. I think for them that they should get sense. They should understand if they are doing something wrong. They should. And what I'm supposed to like, I should just follow, but I don't know what to do. If it doesn't make sense.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For me, I'd say what keeps me going, what kept me going at that time. I'm a woman of faith as well. So I say I love my siblings so much, and I just want them to grow up because I knew my mom was so perfect. Glad that she lost at about just at 8. And that was the same time that I was going through issues. I want to put time and take care of my mind to think about me, still think about my marriage. So I'm going to love my siblings, I'm going to heal, I'm going to walk this journey because I want my siblings to have a present mom. I want them to have a mom who's there for them, you know. So that is what keeps me going. And then also my vision. When I next get to be like a mother figure, you know. She's just one of those blessings that God gave me here. Because after I was raised here, people told me, why are you acting so special? It happens to everyone. What do you think you have? What do you think you carry? I was told everything. And then I met a lady who told me it's not okay. And this is your story on your story. And this is not just a book you write, it's a movement. This is a real movement by yourself. And out of your story, you can come up with a house of people. You can come up with a shelter of people. So someone believing in me, my dreams were kept me going at that time. And to be honest, if you ask me if I was taken back and God told me why I wanted that to happen, I wanted to happen. Why? Because today I know why it happened. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't. So God had a reason.
Okay, so Stacey, I want to ask you a quick question. I'll come back to you. Okay? Writing is therapeutic. When you write down things that you've gone through, it's like you're taking it out of your system, out of your head, and you're putting it on paper. What did the writing process do for you? And how do you think people who buy your book, what are they going to get out of what you've written?
That's a big question. So what was the right? What do I get out of the writing
Yes.
process?
What did it do for you?
Writing can give you so many things, and it just depends on how you use it. For me, my debut novel, Second Reality, I started that when I was 14, and I continued to rewrite it throughout different periods of my life as I unraveled all the trauma and the pain that I had. And I kept doing that until I reached a point where I'm like, I am ready to put this history behind me. And this work now represents everything that I was holding inside. So when people read my book, and the ones that I hope to publish in the future, I think they will find friends within the characters, because that's what they were for me. They were fictional. They represented the love that I wish that I had had when I was alone and scared. And I feel like when people read that, I hope that they will feel that as well. But I try to put little bits of wellness advice within my stories, even though they're, they've got fantasy and thriller, and I try to make it exciting. It's still really important to me that no matter what I'm writing, there's a message or there's little bits of advice, because I may not have a degree in psychology, or I may not be a lawyer, or any number of professions that help people, but I've been given the ability to write the story, and I'm going to do everything I can to create positive change with that.
Awesome. Next question is for you. Now, you have lost everybody in your biological family. How do you cope with that? What have you done to create a circle of extended family outside of that here in Australia?
I asked that question because I spoke at an event 2 weeks ago, and I shared this journey. And after the event, this girl came up to me and she was absolutely sobbing. She could spit out what it was she wanted to say. But eventually she said, "I'm so sorry, I'm just crying because I'm so overwhelmed for you that you're the only surviving member of your birth family, and I just feel so emotional for you." And I honestly had this moment, like an absolute experience. It was weird, but I had this moment where I had to remind myself that she was actually talking about me. And I thought, wow, she's describing me, but I don't feel what she's talking about in relation to me. And so I've been in the resilience for going on to 20 years. And so I think that I would dare say that I struggle too. I'm normal too. I have to exercise control over my feelings and emotions too. I feel down to all the things because that's just part of being a human being. It is not hard. But I think that I'm really through for the stuff that when we do exercise our resilience muscles, like your guys at the gym, they can get fit and they can get really strong. The same thing. Resilience is a muscle. It can be exercised, it can be strengthened, it's available to everyone. And so that moment with that girl was talking about my situation, but yet I was like, oh, that's right. It's just proof that if we put in the hard work, building our resilience is a thing. It gives us perspective shift, it gives us emotional shift, it gives us tools and strategies rather than just waiting for the emotions to just motion the emotion through us. There's things that we can do. So that's one thing. I'm very intentional with that community. Very, very intentional. That is, I'm not talking massive community. I'm blessed to have many groups and communities that I'm part of, but I'm just talking 3 or 4 core people that we all need in our life to do life. Sociologists actually tell us that the best group size to be vulnerable and to go deep is 4 things. That's all we need. And so we don't need massive community. We don't need massive networks. We don't need a massive, Instagram or LinkedIn following to help us be resilient and just like that. We just need 4 to 6 solid people that we can be vulnerable with. And that shapes us, grows us, develops us, all things. Yeah.
Thank you. Second to last question is for you, Nina. Sitting here with us in Australia, looking at your 2 beautiful boys, this amazing life that has come out of all of this adversity. You could go back and unwind everything that you went through, would you do it? And why?
No, I won't. Actually, I thank that person many a time. Thank you for whatever you did to me. Because of that, I'm this thing today. No. I thank it many times, but I didn't get it. Oh, I didn't get it. It was like that. Thank you very much. Inspiration to so many. I do now. I have given purpose to my life. I stand against injustice, oppression, any kind of exploitation towards men, women, any gender, children, animals, farming. I stand for them. Now I am an animal rights activist. So, all yes, I know. Confinement, how we are feeling that confinement. I used to say, I think we were kind of Islamic thing in our house. If anybody would visit a visitor, I was not supposed to go get out of my room for maybe for 2-3 hours, maybe more than that. I was not allowed to go out. Just no window, I had to stay inside. So I feel like how do these pages, their chickens, how they live? I have to say. When I see the mother, farm mother, and they take the snacks just after their birth, I remember the story of chicken. I remember this when my baby was also. So I can connect to them. They are voiceless. They are